Hey there YouTube, it's me Tifa Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the second of this month's Korean toy reviews. Now today I've got another figure from the Metal Cardbot toy line. It's a new toy line from Korea that started up earlier this year. It started off with a few figures, and then all of a sudden it just went mad, where they went great guns, and they started releasing brand new figures every week for about 5 or 6, well, 6 or 7 weeks up until the end of the series. I can't remember how many episodes the series ran out to. I think it runs out for 26 episodes. It is now being uploaded onto YouTube. In fact, I've linked I've got a playlist, a copy of the playlist for the episodes down in my playlist list because I've been keep tabs on them and watching them, and I watched the latest episode this morning. But anyway, it's a toy line that's it's kind of all right. It's pretty good. Bit on the small side for a Korean toy, but I quite like the design of some of the characters. I like what they're going with, the variety of alt modes that they're using in the characters for the show. So I decided to go all in with this toy line and buy all 12 of the main character figures. There is a 13th figure. There's a rehash of one of the main protagonists in like a powered up super duper form, but I'm not really bothered about getting that. But anyway, so who have I got to show you today? Well, today I have got this guy, Phoenix Fire. So here's the box, typical box, heavy cardstock. It's got his name on the top, pictures of Jin, the kid, and Phoenix Fire in the background. Then pictures of his alt mode and his robot mode, and then it shows his hammer gimmick with his metal card weapon, and there he is with his hammer on the side again. And then on the bottom you've got all the usual Korean product information, which is of a certain interest to certain people. So anyway, that's the box. Comes with a set of paper instructions. Fairly simple transformation on this guy. You don't really need them, but there you go. And he also comes with his card weapon. So here's his card weapon. As you can see, it's got his name in English, because they all have their character name written in English on the front. Phoenix Fire. So you've got the main card that comes off. On the back, it's got like the Cardbot robotic sigil on the back, and that's the card. And then you get the weapon, which we'll get into in a little bit when we show the figure. So here we go, Phoenix Fire. Alt mode, right? So here he is in his alt mode, and of course it's a fire engine or like a fire appliance. Kind of blocky and chunky. Kind of looks like one of those airport fire tenders, because they tend to have these sort of chunky cabs with these sort of angle undercut going down the bottom here. Not particularly big vehicle. One of the criticisms I've got of this toy line is the size of the figures. They tend to be not very big. So I've actually got my other Cardbot figures beside me that I've got so far for size comparison. So I've got them all in in alt mode. So here's Phoenix Fire in his truck mode, and here he is next to Blue Cop. So as you can see, I mean, he's a bit taller, a lot taller, but he's about the same size, footprint wise, as Blue Cop. Then we've got Mega Trucker, who's quite a bit bigger. He's like one of the biggest figures in the line, not the biggest, but one of the biggest. So there we go, those two. And then the last Metal Cardbot figure that I got, Mega Ambler. And as you can see, Mega Ambler is a little bit smaller than Phoenix Fire. So there we go. So yeah, his alt mode, decent details. He's got like the eyes in the front of the cab, kind of like Cars characters from that Disney's or Pixar's Cars. He's got like transparent lenses here. He's got the wing mirrors. It's got like molded handrails on the side. And then you go down the side. It's got all this. It's got like molded ladder on this side. Handrail on the top. He's got this big water cannon snorkel thing, which can sort of angle up and down and sort of spin round. It also folds up like that for his weapon in robot mode. Go around the back, you've got more sort of transparent lenses going on. You've got these big white sort of bumpers, and a little bit of visible fist syndrome going on there. On this side, you've got a curled up, water hose, another handrail. It's got some beacons on top which aren't painted. And more sort of pump detail down the side there. So it's got some nice wheels. They're pinned on the inside, but they do roll very well. Decent looking truck mode, I suppose. It's pretty cool. There's not much more I can say about it really. It's a boxy, chunky truck. Not very big, but it's all right. It's fine. It's okay. So transformation on this guy, fairly very simple. First of all, let's take the weapon off because we don't need that at the moment. Now you basically have to almost break this guy in half to transform him. So there's like a join in the middle, and then you basically do that. Then you pull this bit out because this is the waist, and then straighten the legs, turn them round 180 degrees, split the legs. Then you've got like a heel, or like a heel spur, and then you've got this panels that open up at the front, and then you've got the toes flip out, and then you close them up, and there is your legs. Now going up top, you've got to split the top sections like so. Let's go around to the front. You then rotate them forwards. Then you've got the arms here, so you just straighten the arms out, fold it down, straighten it out, quite stiff joints, and pretty much there you go. So there is Phoenix Fire in his robot mode, and he looks pretty good in his robot mode for the most part. He's got like his head sculpt. He's got like a fireman's sort of helmet for his head sculpt. They've got some nice painted chest detail. Obviously, they've got big chunks of the vehicle mode that form these massive shoulders that he's got. The front of the vehicle goes down to form his legs. He's got some transparent bits there, and he's got a little bit of painted detail on his arms, and he's got these sort of cuff things hanging off the off his wrists. Got these big white cuff things hanging off his wrist. So there we go. There is a robot mode. Now, if you just give me a moment, I will transform the other metal Cardbot figures to do a size comparison. Right, before we do the size comparison with the other metal Cardbot figures, let's do my usual size comparison with a Korean toy, and that's Combiner Wars Megatron, because he's a full, like leader class scale bot, and as you can see, he barely comes up to his mid drift. So he's not on the small side. He's kind of on the small side, a bit chunky, but on the small side. Right. So looking at the other Cardbot figures, or Cardbot, should I say? Not Carbot, Cardbot. Got to get that straight. So here he is next to Blue Cop. And as you can see, he's bigger than Blue Cop. Here he is next to Metal Ambler, or Mega Ambler, sorry. Now the transformation on Mega Ambler is very similar to Phoenix Fire, because the way that the transformation works is very, very similar. So they come out as being similar sort of size. And then of course, then you got the big boy, and he's considerably bigger, old Mega Trucker. Right, so there we go. Articulation. Unfortunately, due to the bulk that this guy has got, he's got rather restricted articulation. You've got his head It's on a rotation, goes from side to side. The shoulders, you know, in and out that far, and this bit just hits there, so the arms don't go any further out than that. They go all the way around on a fairly stiff ratchet. Now the arms, the arm goes forward that much, it can go back that much, and then you've got the elbow, which can go to 90 degrees, but because of the bulk of the shoulder, it just tucks up underneath the shoulder, and the fist barely sticks out from underneath it. That will become a problem when we start wielding his weapon. So now he has got, because of the excessive, you know, jointage in his waist, he has got an ab crunch and a back arch. You know, he's got that. So, you know, you can give him some extra articulation joints there, even though it's part of his transformation. The hips, get the arms out of the way. With a full, what's it? I suppose he can do a toes up Van Damme, because even though his legs are kind of chunky. Right. Come on. There we go. Right, so yeah, he's got reasonable motion on his hips, in and out, backwards and forwards. Double jointed knee, so his knee goes all the way back, but then again that's due to transformation, and there's nothing on the feet. So yeah, like I said, very restricted articulation, especially on the arms. I mean, he's got like these massive chunky shoulders and these kind of weedy arms, and because of the jointage, the way they work, you can't do a lot with him, to be honest, especially when you get to his card weapon. Now his card weapon, that folds round, then that folds up like so, and then you've got these pieces which fold out. And there it is, there's his hammer weapon. Now it has a like a slot in it there, and that slots through these rings that come off his arms, so it will plug onto his left or his right arm. Now this is unusual, because a lot of the other metal Cardbot figures where they have their weapon, it's limited to where you can actually put it. You can usually only put it in on one side of the robot usually, but this guy is ambidextrous, so that's kind of interesting. But when he's got his hammer on, he can't do much with it, unfortunately. If you tilt his arm forwards a little bit, it hits his shoulder, so he can swing his arm, he can swing his hammer up and down on the shoulder joints, but he can't swing it side to side. I suppose you could do it in a little bit like that, but it's not a lot you can do with it, to be honest. I mean, like I said, you can just do that. Yeah, kind of disappointing, actually. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention he's got a waist joint as well. But yeah, the hammer gimmick. It's a shame he hasn't got, you know, bicep swivels. It might have made a difference if he'd had that, or at least a wrist rotation. It might have been able to do something with that, but as it is, he's kind of limited and restricted with the articulation that he's got, and because of his chunk and his bulk, and that's kind of disappointing, really. So let's just take that off. There we go. So yeah, and obviously it just now folds back up like that, and then you get your thing and your which side does it go on? That side. And then you just plug the card back onto it, and there you go. Oh yeah, the one thing I forgot to mention, obviously he's got his gun accessory, which it folds up, and then it will fit in his hand. But again, because of it hit his shoulder. So again, if he wants to hold it up or wield his gun, he's got to you've got to have his arm going like that. Now you can turn it round and you can have the longer gun like that. And also, because you still got the vehicle slot on his shoulder, you can have the gun shoulder mounted, even though it's a bit wobbly. You turn it round. So yeah, so he has got a bit of playability with his weapon, but like I said, disappointing. The articulation, you know, the bulk on him is kind of a letdown compared to some of the other figures. I mean, I admit the articulation on Mega Rambler isn't that much better, but I do much prefer his robot mode to this guy. His robot mode doesn't look too bad. I mean, you know, the colours he's got going on are mostly red with some white and some black and a few blue and sort of gold bits. Yeah, he's all right. He's okay, but on the whole, like I said, he's a little disappointing compared to some of the other figures in the line. He's again a little on the small side. I wish he was a bit bigger. I wish they'd have engineered the arms and the shoulders a bit better, to give him a better range of articulation. Would have been nice to give him 5 swivels, but he's a fairly plain Jane when it comes to articulation, and because of the bulk of the figure, it just restricted what articulation he has got, and that's all this guy's got going for him, unfortunately. So there we go. There's my review on that figure. Hopefully you found it interesting and informative. That's what I'm here for. I buy these figures so you don't have to. So yeah, I'm going to carry on buying figures from this Metal Cardbot toy line. The next one is going to be one of the ones that I really didn't want to buy, because there's a couple of figures in the line that I don't want to get, but because I've decided to get the whole line, I'm going to have to get some figures that I otherwise would have turned my nose up at. So anyway, with that said, I've been TFI Wilderness. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I will catch you all next time. Ta-da!